In this part of video, I am going to discuss the principle of operation of induction motor. Principle of operation of induction motor. Here, one website is given here. In this link, we can see that how rotating magnetic field interact with the machine, and its animation is shown in this video. So now I come to our point of operation of induction motor. So in this case, we can see here the basic operation principle, which states that a rotor rod placed in a rotating field is passed by magnetic pole. Here a rotating magnetic fields are there. That rotating magnetic field rotates at synchronous speed, which value is given by 120 F by 120 F by P. So this rotating magnetic field interact with the rotor conductor. Rotor rod is placed in fact here, and this rotating magnetic field induces EMF in the rotor rod, and this induced EMF will not produce torque unless until it is shorted here. So it is shorted through slip ring. Two slip rings are here. This is end rings. Two end rings are here. End rings, this and this end rings are shorted. So by shorting this end ring, current starts flowing, and this current creates a torque to rotate the magnetic to rotate the rotor. So the magnetic field of each pole induces an EMF and hence a current in the rotor rod. The interaction between flux and current create a force. The interaction between flux and current creates a force. So this interaction between, here it is shown by the Fleming left hand rule. If this is a magnetic field and this direction is the current, then force will be produced in this direction. As shown here, a force is flowing in this direction, and this is a conductor current. Dot means toward the viewer. So current is coming this side. So for magnetic field will be magnetic field is from north to south pole. So force will act in this direction, and this force will rotate this rotor, and this rotor will rotate in this way. So this is the rule under which this rotor starts rotating. Another important thing is here that suppose this rotor is rotating at a speed, that a speed is rotator a stator MMF is rotating at a speed ns, and at a starting the speed of rotor is 0. So the relative speed between ns and nr, this is also known as slip. This is also known as slip. So this speed at the starting is highest. As time passes, this rotor starts rotating in the same direction of the stator rotating magnetic field. So the speed now ns minus nr, it decreases as the value of rotor speed nr increases. A time will come when both the speed becomes equal, ns minus nr, when both becomes 0, so its value becomes equal to 0. At this condition, the induced EMF in the rotor conductor will be 0 because there is a no relative motion. So the induced EMF in the rotor will be 0. As soon as this rotor gets the difference in a speed, ns minus nr, the induced EMF will be in the rotor. If these two speed becomes equal, the induced EMF in the rotor becomes 0, and rotor for a moment its speed slow down, and again there is a relative speed ns minus nr, and rotor will start again producing induced EMF. So by this way, rotor speed goes down and try to reach the synchronous speed. So in this case, our design should be in such a way that rotor speed should never it should never reach to the synchronous speed. If it reaches the synchronous speed, what will happen? The induced EMF in the rotor becomes zero if ns equal to nr. Then rotor induced EMF will be zero and torque will be also zero if this condition happen. That is why a rotor is never allowed to run at synchronous speed. That is why this machine is also called asynchronous machine. Asynchronous machine means the rotor never allowed to run at the synchronous speed. So this shows that the rod is influenced. The rod is influenced by a force F. The next pole passing the rotor rod is of opposite polarity. It induces a current in opposite direction of the first one. However, as the direction of magnetic field has changed, the force is still affecting the rod in the same direction. If the whole rotor is placed in a rotating field, all the rotor rods are thus influenced by force, making them to rotate. This is the structure. In physical point of view, we can understand that suppose this is the speed of the rotating magnetic field produced by the stator, and suppose the rotor has tendency to oppose this rotating magnetic field. So what will rotor will do? Rotor will start to run in the same direction so as to reduce the speed between ns and nr. So to reduce the speed, as per Lenz's law, to oppose this ns is the reason to produce the induced EMF in the rotor. So the tendency of this induced EMF is such way that it opposes the cause which produces it. So cause is rotating magnetic field. So to oppose this, rotor has to run in the same direction to make this difference small. So in this search, the rotor try to gain the speed or try to reach the speed up to synchronous speed. As soon as the rotor reach the synchronous speed, what will happen? Induced EMF in the rotor becomes zero. That is why it is never allowed to run at the synchronous speed. The rotor will not reach the speed of rotational field as no currents are induced in the rotor rod when the speed are same. The rotor will eventually reach a steady state speed n that is less than synchronous speed. The difference between the rotor speed and the synchronous speed is called slip and is defined as. So this this slip is very important part for analysis of the induction motor. So synchronous slip is defined as ns minus n. N is the rotor speed, or somewhere it is written also nr is written, divided by ns. And if we convert into omega, omega s minus omega divided by omega s, this relation we have already seen. N is the speed in rpm and omega is in radian per second. So radian per second means in one rotation how much radian is formed. Suppose this is rotating in one rotation. So this point rotate complete one rotation, how much angle is formed? 2 pi. Suppose it is rotated in n times, so angle will be formed as n, and n it is in per minute. So if we divide it by, if we convert it into seconds, so this omega will be a speed in radian per second. But here n is the speed in rpm, rotation per minute. N is the rotation per minute. In one rotation 2 pi angle is formed. So in n rotation how much angle will be formed? N into 2 pi. And but it is n is in per minute, so in second it is 60 is given here. So this relation is very important, and from here we can also see that we can s slip multiplied by ns equal to ns minus n. and this from here we can get n equal to ns into 1 minus s. So this relation is this is the rotor speed, and this is synchronous speed. Suppose if n equal to ns, suppose it happened n equal to ns, so what will be the value of slip? Slip will be 0. So during this condition slip will be 0. If n equal to 0, this condition is called a stand still condition. This is called a stand still condition. So if n equal to 0, slip will be equal to how much? 1. So at a stand still means rotor is not rotating. At this time slip is 1, and induced EMF in the rotor, induced EMF in the rotor will be maximum. When rotor is not rotating, at this condition induced EMF in the rotor will be highest. Means when rotor is not rotating, this value is 0, so ns by ns becomes 1. So this is the condition when the induced EMF will be maximum. And for s equal to 0, I am taking another color. For s equal to 0 means for slip is slip, if slip is 0, then what will happen? If slip is 0, this condition we can see here, if slip is 0, at this condition induced EMF in the rotor will be also equal to 0. So a generalized condition we can say the rotor induced EMF is given by S multiplied by E2. Here E2 is the induced EMF. Here E2 equal to induced EMF at a stand still. A stand still. A stand still means a speed of rotor is 0. When a speed of rotor is 0, at this time the induced EMF is E2. This is called maximum induced EMF. But as slip value is at a standstill, the value of slip is 1, not 0. The value of slip is 1 as shown here. So induced EMF will be maximum here. Induced EMF will be maximum if S equal to 1, and it will be 0 if slip is 0. So it will be a 0 multiplied by E2, and it will be equal to 0. And when slip is 0, slip 0 means rotor speed and synchronous speed both becomes equal. So synchronous speed ns equal to n. At this time the slip is 0, so rotor induced EMF will be also 0. So this is two condition very important here. It means slip can change its value from 0 to maximum 1. For the case of motor operation, the slip value is changing from 0 to 1. If slip is 0, the induced EMF in the rotor will be 0 for this formula, and if slip is 1, the induced EMF in the rotor will be maximum. At a standstill, the same thing is summarized here. If somehow the speed of rotor is equal to ns, then slip becomes equal. What will happen? This condition is also this situation is very important. What will happen? You see, the same machine, if n means a speed of the rotor is greater than synchronous speed, then slip becomes negative, and this mode is called generating mode. Suppose here slip is defined as ns minus n divided by ns. If here n is greater than ns, suppose n is greater than ns, what will happen? This value is higher than this value, so this slip will be negative, so s will be negative, and such type of operation is called generating mode. Means our rotor is running ahead of synchronous speed, means more than, suppose ns is 1200 rpm, and n is, suppose it is 1250 rpm, let it value, then ns minus n will be minus 50. It means now the machine is operating as a generating mode. Means if sleep we get less than 0, it means the machine is generating mode. If sleep is greater than 1, maybe greater than 1 also. If sleep, if n is negative, suppose this n value, n is here, suppose I write here s equal to ns minus, suppose n is negative by ns. So this term becomes positive, ns plus n divided by ns. So the machine now what will happen? It is operating in the mode of braking. This is called braking mode. So by watching the sleep of a machine, we can say the different conditions of operation of a induction motor. If sleep is greater than, if sleep is positive, it means it is motoring operation. If sleep is less than 0, means negative, less than 0, then it is operating as generating mode. If sleep s value is, here sleep s is positive but less than 1, but less, but up to or less than 1, greater than 0 means sleep is greater than 0 but less than equal to 1. So the machine is called motoring mode. And if sleep is less than 0, less than 0, negative value, less than 0, negative value, then it is called generating mode. And if the value of sleep is greater than 1, the same machine is come under the mode of the braking. It happen when suppose some rail motor is used in the mode of the braking mode, like in the railway nowadays it is the induction motor is being used there. So during the braking the sleep value becomes greater than 1. So these are the various condition for the sleep. Now I'm going to discuss about the instantaneous value of induced voltage in n-turn coil is given by. N-turn coil, as we know, this is the induced EMF minus E1 equal to minus N1 d phi by dt, and let phi equal to phi m sin omega t. So just we have to differentiate it. Just we have to differentiate it with respect to time. So this relation is obtained by differentiating it, and by putting the value of omega equal to 2 pi into f, and phi m sine, here cos is there and negative is there, so this negative is put it inside the sine, so this relation came. So if we see this value and this value, induced emf, here flux is sine omega t and induced emf, this value is the maximum value, and this minus pi by 2 means the phase difference between phi and E, flux and induced EMF, is minus pi by 2. Means if flux is in this direction, the induced EMF is lagging with respect to the flux by angle pi by 2. Negative is given, so it is lagging with respect to the flux. The RMS value of induced voltage per phase, this value we can get here, and RMS value we can get, how we can get, I'm just showing how we can get here. It is very simple, we can make it like this. It is very simple, also taught in the case of the transformer. This is 2. So E max, how E1 maximum value, how much E1 maximum value will be there? Maximum value is N1 2 pi f multiplied by phi m. This is the maximum value, So RMS value E1 RMS, just we have to divide E1 max by root 2. So by doing this we will get it N1 multiplied by 2 pi into F into phi m and divided by root 2. So if we do like this here, so root 2 multiplied by pi, it will be 4.44. So this relation is coming 4.44 frequency multiplied by number of turn into poles. So this is the induced EMF per pole. Later part we will see in the next video, where we will discuss the more importance of this term.